Hi, my name is Miss Charity, and today we are going to be reading Amazing Grace. I see that this book has two names at the bottom. Well, I know that there are people whose names are put on books that write the words, but also there are people who draw the pictures. I wonder if Mary Hoffman or Carolyn Binch wrote the words. Let's see if the book will tell us. All right, Amazing Grace. Ooh, I see something interesting. This says, by Mary Hoffman. So I think that Mary Hoffman is the author, which means that she's the person who wrote the words. And it says pictures by Carolyn Binch. Well, there we go. Carolyn Binch drew the pictures. I see a little girl and she is dressed up in 4 different costumes. I wonder if this story is going to be about a little girl who likes to tell different stories. Let's see. Grace was a girl who loved stories. She didn't mind if they were read to her or told to her or made up in her own head. She didn't care if they were in books or movies or out of Nana's long memory. Grace just loved stories. After she had heard all of them, and sometimes while they were still going on, Grace would act them out, and she always gave herself the most exciting part. I see a little girl in this picture. I think that's Grace. And I see an older woman who looks like Grace's Nana. Here I see Grace is holding up 2 dolls and they look like they're talking to each other. I also see a couple storybooks. I wonder if Grace is making up stories in this picture. Grace went into battle as Joan of Arc and wove a wicked web as Anansi the spider. She hid inside the wooden horse at the gates of Troy. She went exploring for lost kingdoms. She sailed the 7 seas with a peg leg and a parrot. She was Hiawatha, sitting by the shining big sea water. And Mowgli in the backyard jungle. Hey, Mowgli sounds familiar to me. I think it's the little boy from the Jungle Book. Now I'm wondering if all of these people that Grace is dressed up as are actually people told in other stories, or maybe these are people from real life who've had stories written about them. That's something interesting to think about. If I were Grace, I think my favorite character to dress up as would be the pirate with a peg leg. I think that pirates are pretty cool and they seem to go on really cool adventures, so that's why I'd want to be the pirate. Who would you want to be out of all the characters that Grace dressed up as? Take a moment to think. Maybe you can write it down, or maybe if there's someone else in the room with you, you can tell them which character you would want to be. And why would you want to be that character? I'll give you a minute. Most of all, Grace loved to act out adventure stories and fairy tales. When there was no one else around, Grace played all the parts herself. She set out to seek her fortune with no companion but her trusty cat, and found a city with streets paved in gold. Or she was Aladdin, rubbing his magic lamp to make the genie appear. Hey, I know Aladdin. Sometimes she could get Ma and Nana to join in when they weren't too busy. Then she was Dr. Grace, and their lives were in her hands. I see that Ma has something wrapped around her ankle and also around her head. Oh my gosh, so does Nana. They're both holding their heads like they're in pain. I wonder if they're in actual pain or if they're just pretending because this is Dr. Grace and she's trying to help them. I think that they're just pretending because this looks like toilet paper. But I think Grace is really creative when she's Dr. Grace because I see that she has a spatula and a jump rope tied around the spatula to be a stethoscope. A stethoscope is what doctors use to listen to people's lungs and heart. One day, Grace's teacher said they would do the play Peter Pan. Grace knew who she wanted to be. When she raised her hand, Raj said, "You can't be Peter. That's a boy's name." But Grace kept her hand up. "You can't be Peter Pan," whispered Natalie. "He isn't black." But Grace kept her hand up. "All right," said the teacher. "Lots of you want to be Peter Pan, so we'll have auditions next week to choose parts." She gave them words to learn. I think if someone told me that I couldn't do something that I really wanted to do just because of my skin color or because I wasn't fit for it, that would make me feel kind of sad. I wonder if Grace was feeling a little sad because of that. When Grace got home, she seemed sad. Hey look, that answers my question that I just asked. What's the matter? Asked Ma. Well, Raj said I can't be Peter Pan because I'm a girl. That just shows what Raj knows, said Ma. A girl can be Peter Pan if she wants to. Grace cheered up. Then, later she remembered something else. But Natalie says I can't be Peter Pan because I'm black, she said. Ma looked angry, but before she could speak, Nana said, It seems that Natalie is another one who don't know nothing. You can be anything you want, Grace, if you put your mind to it. On Saturday, Nana told Grace they were going out. In the afternoon, they caught a bus and a train into town. Nana took Grace to a grand theater. The sign outside read, Rosalie Wilkins in Romeo and Juliet, in sparkling lights. Are we going to the ballet, Nana? Asked Grace. We are, honey. But first, I want you to look at this picture. Grace looked up and saw a beautiful young ballerina in a tutu. Above the dancer, it said, Stunning New Juliet. I've never heard the word stunning before. That's kind of a big word. Well, let me see if I can figure out what it means based on the other text that's around it. So this sentence says, Grace looked up and saw a beautiful young ballerina in a tutu. So that's the beautiful young ballerina. And above it says, Stunning New Juliet. Based on what the text and the picture are telling me, I think stunning means beautiful. That one is little Rosalie from back home in Trinidad, said Nana. Her granny and me, we grew up together on the island. She's always asking me, do I want tickets to see her Rosalie dance? So this time I said yes. What would you want to go see if you went to a grand theater? After the ballet, Grace played the part of Juliet, dancing around her room in her imaginary tutu. I can be anything I want, she thought. I think it's really cool that Rosalie inspired Grace to believe that she could be anything that she wanted to be. On Monday, the class met for auditions to choose who was best for each part. I wonder if Grace is going to get the part. I'm kind of nervous to see if she gets it or not. When it was Grace's turn to be Peter, she knew exactly what to do and all the words to say. She had been Peter Pan all weekend. She took a deep breath and imagined herself flying. When it was time to vote, the class chose Raj to be Captain Hook and Natalie to be Wendy. There was no doubt who would be Peter Pan. Everyone voted for Grace. You are fantastic, whispered Natalie. Wow. The play was a big success, and Grace was an amazing Peter Pan. After it was all over, she said, I feel as if I could fly all the way home. You probably could, said Ma. Yes, said Nana. If Grace put her mind to it, she can do anything she wants. Wow. I loved this book. I hope you guys liked reading it with me too. What Grace learned in this story made me feel so empowered, as if I could do anything as well. How did it make you feel? What was your main takeaway? Mine was that if you have a passion to do something and you put in the work to accomplish it, you are very likely to succeed in accomplishing it. Now, something fun that I want to do with you guys is an activity where you can complete the assignment that I give you and send it in. And on the next video, I will put your work in the beginning of the video and show it off. So what I want you to do for this week, think about something that you've always wanted to be or something you've always wanted to do. Now, I want you to draw a picture of yourself doing that thing or becoming that thing. Now, underneath your picture, I want you to tell me, what is that thing that you've always wanted to do or that thing you've always wanted to be? And I want you to tell me why it is that you've always wanted to do that or you've always wanted to be that. If you do this and you send it into this email right here, you will be featured at the beginning of our next reading video. So I hope you guys enjoyed your time with me. I enjoyed my time with you guys reading this book, and I will see you guys next week. Keep reading, keep dreaming, and keep washing your hands.